In this tutorial, I am going to walk you through some basic functionality that you have as a user in the grants portal. First, I'm going to start with the right-hand navigation, then I'm going to move on to the shortcuts panel, the grant activities tiles, and then the My Application Tracker section of the home page. So first and foremost, I'll start up here in the top right-hand corner of your screen. The first button is going to be your home button. The home button is very useful because these links on the top right are going to be on every page that you are accessing in this application. If you want to get back to this page, your home page, you just click the home button and you'll always come back here. The next button is your Applicant Resources. Now, when you click Applicant Resources, it's going to take you to this resources folder. When you click the plus, it'll actually open it up and give you a few different types of resources that are available. This section is always being built out. So as you need more help with the portal, you'll actually be able to access more documents. This is actually one of the reasons why support tickets are very important, because if we have enough questions about one thing, we will add, if there are applicable documents for you, we will add them to this file. Any documents found in this library are actually also found on our website. So you'll see here, so we have additional documents and templates, fiscal sponsor documents if you're going to be using a fiscal sponsor, and report guidelines are found here at the bottom. So again, this will be built out. If you click into one of them, you'll actually see individual documents that you can download by clicking them, and then it'll save a copy to your computer. Now, to return to the home page, we go ahead and click that home button again. As we come back to the home page, I want to walk you through these two little icons on the top right. The first is a bell. It's your notifications bell. That's going to notify you if you have a password that's going to be expiring. Now, if you don't log in time to catch a password reset, which is every 120 days, that's okay. You'll just use the forgot my password link on the login screen. If you do want to change your password, you just come and hover over your name notification up here, the little initial that pops down a menu. So here are some shorthand links, which are very useful if you're in an application or you're somewhere else in this program and you want to go directly to your profile or the org profile, you can click to them this way. You can also change your password using this button right here. And to log out at the end of the day, you can click here and log yourself out immediately. You can also just close the application out, or it will log you out automatically after an hour of running idle. Our next step is the shortcuts panel, this section right here in gray. So your first option is My Profile. Now, My Profile is basically used for if you have a name change or your email address changes or your title changes, you can actually click in here and update that just by clicking Edit My Profile. And then you can make the changes there. Which is Update My Profile. The next tab right here, this little tile, is your organization profile. Now, this is very important. It's important enough that we have a whole separate video walking you through the organization profile and certification process. I always recommend that you make sure that this is up to date. To make sure that your certification is up to date before you submit an application, click into Org Profile and click the Certification tab. You can see when the last time everything was certified was, and you'll be able to see the date, who it was certified by, and then that box is checked. So if it's more than a year in the past, you'll have to recertify. But in this case, it's not. So we'll go ahead, return to the home screen. Now, your frequently asked questions, these are just some basic questions about the grants portal. Further frequently asked questions can be accessed on our website. This final icon right here on the right, the megaphone, is your open funding opportunities. So you can actually click in here and see the funding guidelines for any applications that are open right now. You can download them and you can start and submit applications by clicking on this tile right here. Moving down to your grant activities tiles. So this first button right here, My Grant Activities. These are going to be activities associated with grants that you have submitted and you have said that you are responsible for. So in this scenario, maybe you have a progress report that's due, or you have a contingency that needs to be met, or you have some kind of final report that needs to be submitted. those requirements are all going to show up right here. So you can always click in and you'll be able to see exactly what grant has a late report, what grant has an upcoming report or upcoming activity. Anything can be accessed right here. Now, the difference with my organization's activities is by clicking here, you will be able to see all activities under your organization. So if you are the only person submitting applications for your organization, these two numbers will be the same. But if there are multiple people at your organization submitting applications, you might have a different number here. This is just good to know in case you're submitting an application for a program that requires you to have all final reports submitted and make sure that nothing is overdue. You can always double check here and then contact that person who is in charge of that grant to make sure that that is submitted before you give the due date on the funding opportunity that you are applying for. Scheduled payments, this number is just going to show you if you have any payments that are upcoming. So this could be you just received an award and it hasn't been paid out yet because a contingency hasn't been met, or maybe you have a payment scheduled after a progress report is submitted. You'll just see that number change based on those requirements. Finally, this section at the bottom, the My Application Tracker. Similar to your grant activity tile, that's My Grant Activities. The My Application Tracker is only going to be for grants or applications that you are personally submitting. So in progress, you will have in progress applications that maybe you have started to submit. So you decided to not submit it right away. You just wanted to come in, get it started, filled out some of the basic information, then you had to go back and maybe you had another meeting or you had to go back and get some more information. So you clicked Save Draft on your application. It's going to show up right here and the status is going to say draft. And you can always come back, click that name and go right back in to finish filling out that application. Now, other reasons that you'll see applications in the in progress section, if you have submitted an application and revisions were requested, it's going to be back here in the in progress section and the status will say revisions requested. More on that later, and also in the applicant user guide. This tab right here is the submitted tab. So as you can see, the 0 next to each number tells you how many are in this tab. So this applicant has not actually submitted any grant applications yet. So, but what you will see is that anything that has been submitted, you'll see the status might be changing. So you might see under review statuses, you might see submitted statuses. That's just going to tell you where in the steps it is. After decisions are made and the grant has been reviewed, you're going to see that grant move either to active grants or historical grants. If you are awarded a grant, it will be under active grants. If you have withdrawn your application or you were denied, it's going to show up under historical grants. Now, each of these tabs, these two tabs, active grants and historical grants, will have a decision letter posted. So anytime you want to access a decision letter, you can you'll click, it's hyperlinked right here, and you'll be able to click it and it will download a copy to your computer. And it's also emailed to you upon decision. So the system will send an email out to you and it will have a copy of the letter attached. Similar to when you submit an application, you'll also receive a copy of that application, or you can come back here and you can search an active, historical, or submitted grants, click on the application and print a copy anytime you need to. And that's kind of your shortcuts that are available to you here in the grants portal.